Good morning to you, and also you. Happy day. I am Stars Tina, and I want to welcome you to your 7 a.m. cup of motivation. So, if this is your first time tuning in, I want to say welcome. When you come into this space, you're going to get so much motivation. If you're on Clubhouse, this isn't Clubhouse, forgive me, family. If you're on Instagram, good morning, Instagram. If you're there on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is a show that I decided to put together because for me, I need that extra motivation in the morning. I need that positivity. Am I the only person that needs that? So when you come here, we're going to give you motivation, inspiration, and transformation. Yes, yes, my friends. Wonderful. So if you've been coming through Wednesdays, I like to call this a Wellness Wednesdays, and I am just pumped up today. I don't know if I'm pumped up from the interview yesterday, but if you missed yesterday, let a mercy. Friends and family, you need to tap into what we were doing yesterday. I had Jeremy here. He's a life coach. He's a basketball player. He is amazing. He's faith driven, and it was a great interview. So, as I mentioned, motivation is super important. So, I'm going to start with a motivational video from my favorite girl, my sister in my head, my friend in my head. Her name, does anyone know? Does anyone know? Lisa Nichols. Yes. If you don't know who she is, maybe you're sleeping under a rock or something. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But we love Lisa Nichols. Last week, I had the honor, I had the loveliness to do a free 5-day challenge with her. And I'm here to let you know, friends and family, it's not too late. You can still do it. You just go to her YouTube channel, or you can go to her website or whatever. It's called Motivating the Masses. It's that simple, and it is so much. It's great. With the 5-day challenge, she actually upgraded. You had the opportunity to upgrade to VIP. I did that, and then at the end of the whole thing, she invited us to her family, to her tribe, to her camp, as she would say, with an 8-week program. And I first of all just want to say thank you to everyone that contributed, because I was not able, it wasn't in my budget to afford the program. It was $2,000, and friends and family and you donated to me. And guess what, guys? Bring! As of last night, I hit the target. So later on, I'm going to make a beautiful thank you video for everyone that supported me to get to reach my number. So I'm super excited for that. And with that being said, if you know who she is, do me a favor, join. All right, here we go. I am going to play the video right now of my favorite girl. And if you're just waking up, stretch your body. Did you move your body this morning? Because that is so super important to move your body. We had an amazing class this morning. I actually did weights. Oh, weights are so great. All right, here we go, guys. In a 5, 4, 3, 2.
Sometimes you forget who you are. Yes, yes? You get so caught up in the role. I knew I was Jelani's mother. I knew I was my father's daughter. I knew I was the executive director of the Girls Club of Los Angeles. I knew I was his former fiance. But I had forgotten who I was. And sometimes enough time passes when you forget how strong you are. You forget how powerful you are. Or you're not aware of how powerful you're becoming. Yes, yes? You're not aware of how amazing, how many colors you have in your wingspan. You've seen 3 colors, and your 3 colors have impressed some people. You didn't know that you had 19 more colors in your wingspan. And so I just stopped by to push and expand and stretch any form of mediocrity. I wanted to make sure that I was here so that you can hear, what does the sound of my soul sound like? Not dancing to my children's beat, not dancing to my spouse's beat, not dancing to my family's beat, my cultural beat, not dancing to my bank account's beat, but dancing to the beat of my soul. See, my gift is helping people put words that are impactful out into the world. Help you wrap the words in such a way where people get them, they can understand them, and they remember you. That's my jam. And it took me a long time to stand in that gift. I kept discounting the gift. How many of us raise one hand or raise 2 hands if you know you got something special in you and you have a tendency to keep discounting the gift? Look around if your hands are up so you see that you're not alone. I kept discounting the gift. I kept negating it because I thought if it's a value, it got to be hard. Suffer. I come from a Baptist background. So Baptist is like, suffer, 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 and then in heaven it'll be better. And I want to see my better now.
All right, family and friends, I have to stop it now. I legit could watch her all day long. As you see in the bottom there, I have a ticker going across the side. If you want to join her community, Motivating the Masses, you're going to hear me talk about her all the time because I've learned so much. Last week was the second time I did her challenge, and I learned so much, and you will learn so much as well. It's absolutely amazing. So when you come here today is Wellness Wednesdays, and today I'm going to talk about expectations. So if you're getting dressed for work, that's great. All about expectations. So we all have many things that go on in our life that we're doing, right? You're in relationships, you have a job, you have a career, you have sports, you have school, you have all these things, right? And you're expecting certain things in your life. So the first thing I want to mention, it's super important that you focus on your mindset and you know when and what you're doing certain things. A very wonderful person taught me the initials HALT, H-A-L-T. Her name is Dr. Dale. She has a book that just came out on Amazon, and it's super important in life when you're doing things, you're making decisions from the proper state of mind. And HALT will help you do that because we tend to assume certain things. And I say this to people, well, I assumed you were going to do this. Well, I assumed. Well, I always say, think of the first three letters in the word assume. That's probably what you're becoming or acting like when you assume. You don't want to do that. But when you're making decisions, whether it's relationships, whether it's money, the first one is H is hungry. You never want to make decisions when you're hungry because you can't think too well, especially if you're like me, you're hangry, you're like, oh, I can't, you'll say yes to anything. All right. So kids or women out there, if you want to get something from your man, all right, these states, I'm telling you, go to him in these states if you want to get something when they're in a state of mind. But you yourself don't make decisions when you're state. So if you're hungry, do not make any decisions. The A is when you're angry. You definitely, my friends, do not want to make any decisions when you're angry. When you're angry, you'll say anything. And if you're anything like me, I'm a Scorpio, and Scorpios have that tongue out there, and I'm just like, or no, it's not the tongue. It's the help me out. The stingray. So when I'm angry, and when someone attacks me, let's just say, I've never really seen a real scorpion in real life, but they had that winger. They're like, that's what I'm gonna do. If someone gets me mad or angry, I'm gonna so do not make decisions when you're angry. H-A-L. Can anyone guess what I'm saying when I'm talking about L? Lonely. Lonely is not a good feeling. And did you know, my friends, that you can be lonely in a room full of people? You could be at work and it's filled with people. You could be at school and it's filled with people. You could be at home with a house full of people and you feel lonely. So do not make decisions when you feel lonely. All right. And the last one is T. This one right here is the worst for me. When you're tired, if you catch me around 8, 9 o'clock, you can probably get anything out of me because I am so tired. I'm just like, leave me alone. My head just drifts. It's done. So those are the 4 states where you don't want to make any decisions. H, hungry. A, angry. L, lonely. T, tired. And like I said, Dr. Dale came up with that. Her book just came out on Amazon. We got to give her big ups because we love her. And the reason why I want to start with that conversation today is because we're talking about expectations. All right, let's just put expectations on the line. And I'm going to give you 3 points today that are going to support you in life to make it so much easier for you. Because think about it. What is disappointment? Has anyone ever been disappointed? Ladies, have you ever been in a relationship and you met the guy? And I always say there's that representative, right? When you first meet them, I'm going to say, make you think that they are certain ways, right? But then as months go on or years go on, things kind of change, right? Because they're kind of getting used to things, getting comfortable. So disappointment is pretty much the difference between expectations and reality. I expected this person to be super nice because they're smiling all the time, because they're happy all the time. But the reality is they're human, they're normal. Has anyone here ever met a celebrity and you thought they were going to be a certain way and they were the total opposite way? So that's what the difference between expectations and realities are. So it's very important. These 3 steps that I give you are going to help you so much in life. And the 4 agreements, if you have not read that book, like I say, you read it every year. Every single year. Mommy, if you're watching this, did you read the book yet? It's a very small book. It's not that big. And it has 4 agreements in it. I believe he came out with a new one, the 5 agreements. But this will help you so much in life. Life is so short. I was in the gym this morning, and I don't watch the news at all. But TVs are on, right? TVs are on with the news. And I heard about a boat or a ship crashing into a bridge. And they showed the picture of the ship smashing into the bridge. And there was another guy in the gym there, and I was asking, like, how does the power, go out or whatever, because that's what I heard happen. And we were kind of talking about it, and I was looking at it, and he said 7 workers were on the bridge. When he said that, at first I thought he meant people were working on the bridge, but 7 people were driving across the bridge, and they went down. First of all, how do they even know that 7 people were on the bridge? I asked him, if they survived, but they really didn't know. But if you think about it, like, I can't think about it too much because my heart will melt and I'll start crying. But if you think about it, time is so precious. And that's why it's so important for me that every single moment is filled with love, is filled with joy. Stop assuming, people. You assume this person said this. You assume this person thought this. You assume. I cannot tell you how many people, someone said to me, oh, well, you're so fake, Tina. You're so phony. You're not always that happy. I'm happy most of the times, but yes, I do get angry. I do get mad. I do get sad, but stop assuming. So looking at the TV with this boat and the people that, not only the ship itself, but think about the bridge. It looked like it was so beautiful. And the crash through it, the boat, it was just like, whoa. Pretty heavy. So let's talk about expectations today, okay? What are your expectations for me? What are expectations for your husband, for your wife, for your children? The first thing I want to say is be very clear with your communication with what you want, all right? So ladies, if you know that you want to be treated a certain sort of way, say that from the beginning. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't even say it. Because if you're out in the dating world, you want to see how someone's going to treat you. Are they opening the door? All right. Years ago when I was young, and you 20-year-olds, trust me, you don't know sometimes. Maybe your dad didn't teach you certain things, all right? But I am that independent woman. I'm doing everything on my own. And I would always just open my car door myself. And I remember I was going out with this guy, and he's like, Tina, chill. Okay, he didn't say that, but he was like, let me be a man. Let me open the door for you. Let me treat you like a lady. Ladies, sometimes we try to be so, I am a woman, hear me roar, I can do everything on my own. You don't let a man be a man, all right? Another thing I wanted to share, my father said this to me, and I'm like, I don't want to say I'm stubborn with it. Like, men, get on the outside. When you're walking down the street, get on the side of the road. You may have never heard of that, but apparently what it's supposed to mean, if a car comes and hits you, you're going to get hit before the woman. I know it sounds crazy, right? But get on the outside of the road, little things like that. So make clear expectations of what you want. Every relationship that I'm in, I just kind of make a conversation. And again, ladies, you want to do this before you get into the relationship. And then if they do these things, check mark. That's a good thing. Check mark. I always say I love flowers. All right. And I think I must have got this from when I used to train some of my Jewish clients. The women would always say every Friday their husbands would bring flowers home to them. And I was like, that is so cute. So I said, in my relationship, I really like flowers. I just kind of say that sort. I like flowers. Every Friday I want flowers. And guess what? Every Friday I got flowers. Now, here's the catcher. You'll notice when your expectations, things don't happen, well, maybe things are not going so well with that relationship. So that's tip number 1. Be very, very clear with what you expect. And I'm going to add on to that. Be clear with how you want to be treated, how you want to be spoken to, and don't wait. Don't hold it in, all right? If you don't like the way someone looks, and I'm talking about someone that you have to deal with all the time. If it's someone that you don't deal with, you don't talk to them, it really doesn't matter, right? But if it's a coworker, if it's a family member, and you don't even have to deal with family members all the time, if I'm being totally honest. But if it's someone that you care about, let them know how you want to be treated, how you want to be spoken to. Because for me, I am very sensitive, okay? I wear my emotions right here on my sleeve. You can see everything that's going on in my face. Like, it's there, like, fix your face, Tina, fix your face. You hear that all the time. But for example, I know with my daughter, she trained me how to talk to her. She trained me how to talk to her, how to treat her. It was challenging. It was tough. It hurt a little bit. She was like, Mom, I have my boundaries. I'm not going to talk to you if you do this. I'm not going to do this. And I listen to it. All right. If I want to talk to her, I know I have to check myself first and do these other things. If you don't like the ways someone texts you or whatever, and I always say text message is not good for some people. Some people don't know how to text. I knew someone, they were the worst texter in the world. And what I mean by that is they send me a message and it would get me hot. I'm like, and they said, Tina, I didn't mean that. I was just saying, I said, well, you know what? You need to stop texting. Never text me again, because they didn't realize what they were doing. So you have to communicate clearly and right away. You cannot wait until next week, until next month. Well, last week when we went to the zoo and we went to get ice cream and you kind of yelled at that person, it was embarrassing to me. You can't wait. You have to do it right then and there. All right. And you don't have to be loud and boisterous about it. Just kind of tap the person, and say whatever. So that's the first tip. Be very clear with what you want and what you expect from that person. It's going to make it so much easier for you. Now, number 2, it's kind of related to the first one. It's when your expectations change with what you want, let the person know. So important. I may expect you to come to class every day at 6 a.m. Great example. Here we go. My mother, okay? If you didn't know, I run an online fitness boutique studio. We have classes 7 days a week. We have class 6 a.m. every morning. Now, my mother, she teaches a class, Silver Stars. It's for seniors. And usually everyone takes the class all the days, if you're focused, if you're motivated. And my mother would normally take the classes. And I'm that person, I'll say something once, I may say it twice, and then the third time, like, I'm just going to chill because, I'm getting heated. I'm getting a little heated. And before I come at you haughty style is hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. Before I come at you that style, I'm going to chill. So I had a conversation with my mother because my expectations were that she was going to come to class every single day because guess what? That's what she's been doing for years. And I got tired of repeating myself. It's like, really? Like, how many times do I have to tell you? I personally hate repeating myself. It's like, hello, did you hear me? Get it together. I don't have time for this. So I was just like, Mommy, why don't you come to class on Wednesdays and Thursdays? We miss you. We love you. And she said, and she told me why. She takes my sister to work at 4:00 in the morning, and Texas time is an hour behind. And she says, the days I don't have to take your sister to work, I like to sleep later. I was like, okay. When I heard her say that, I got it. I understood. If I had to get up every morning at 4:00 and drive them to work for 2 days, I would like to sleep a little later. When she expressed that to me, I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't upset. I understood. It was like, okay. And I think I had a face conversation with, it's better to have a face-to-face in person so you can feel their energy, but sometimes you can have those people next to you, right? So maybe it's a FaceTime. I do not suggest texting, but have a FaceTime so you can communicate. So that's the second thing. When your expectations change, let the person know. So what she could have done is, Tina, just let you know, I'm not going to be taking class on these 2 days. Actually, this is what she said to me. She says, I may come, I may not come. It depends on how I feel. But if she would have communicated that to me before she just stopped coming to class and hurt my feelings and made me cry, because when you don't come, it's like, why aren't you there? Do you not like me anymore? And I have to share something with you. I know I kind of get off track, but this conversation made me think about God. Yesterday morning, I pray, and I'm going to go back a lot of years ago when I was in my 20s. I was a single mom. And as a single mom, it's really tough. You're doing a lot. I was going to school, raising my kids, 2-3 jobs, just like everything. I was doing a lot. And I really didn't have that much time to do that many things. I didn't even have time to use the bathroom, if I'm being honest. It was just like, I gotta go. And someone asked me, do you pray, Tina? And I was like, I don't have time to pray. I got to go to work. I know, embarrassing. This was years ago. And some people pray all the time. My Angeline praying, friend. But yesterday I went to pray, and, I whoever I'm with, you're praying with me. You're praying. And because we pray in our classes, and they were like, Tina, you pray today. And I was like, I don't want to pray, and then the other person started praying, and as they're praying, and I was just like, whoa, it like hit me like a bolt, it just hit me. And I felt horrible because I had to think of why. Like, why do pause with praying? Why do you like, and I thought about it, and because I was kind of embarrassed, I was kind of shy, because you hear some people pray and they're like, you think the heavens are going to come down. Their prayers are so good, right? And I was just like, I didn't want to pray because I felt my prayer wasn't good enough. I wasn't saying the right words. I was kind of embarrassed. And I thought, I was like, wait up, hold a minute, Tina. That's God. That's your Father. He loves you. By me saying, I don't want to talk to him, because that's all prayer is, right? Prayer is just talking. We think you have to read scriptures in the Bible and all that stuff. You don't have to, you could, but it's just a conversation. And as I thought about it, I'm thinking God's up there and I'm saying, I don't want to talk to you, God. How does that make him feel? Right? I get upset when someone doesn't return a text message. I'm like, when someone doesn't want to talk to me, I feel upset. So I thought, Tina, that's horrible. That's horrible to say you don't want to talk to your God. And I was like, I want to pray. I want to pray. And I was like, God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's not that I don't want to talk to you. It's like, and I explained. So the expectation, I know I got off on a tangent, but I just wanted to explain that because I know there's a lot of people who don't pray or who are embarrassed to pray or are scared to pray. And I know this because whenever we have our classes, our fitness classes, at the end, I'm like, okay, let's pray. And I'll point someone out, let's pray. And I can see it on their face where they're like, they're not used to praying. That used to be me. So I know exactly how you feel. I had someone say to me, I don't know how to pray. I'm like, just talk. And I'm that pushy person. I'm like, and I remember we were in a class and Blessing, she's my Nigerian princess. We love Blessing. And we had another girl and I was like, pray. And she was like, I don't want to pray. And I was just, pray. I wasn't like that, but I was almost like that. And Blessing's like, calm down. She's amazing. But my point is we have to meet people where they are and give them a lot of bit of grace, I need a lot of bit of grace. I'm not perfect. All right. Some people, my daughter says, you can be nasty, nice, Tina. She doesn't call me Tina, even though she used to call me Tina when she was a little girl. But anyway, nasty, nice, my tone, like ain't nobody got time to be focused on it. I do my best. That's all I can say. Like there is a lot going on in this head. I can only imagine, if there were little worker people, the worker people in my head, they're like, just doing so much. So sometimes things may not come out the way they want them to. I've gotten a lot better. I used to be worse. All right. If you're just tuning in, this is the 7 a.m. Cup of Motivation. Today, I'm talking about expectations. We're on tip number 2, be clear with what you want. And if that changes, let the person know. Now, number 3, are you ready for this? I've been talking about it. Don't assume anything. Don't assume anything. That's all I have to say. Ask questions. And then, this is very, very, very important. You ask the person the question, right? They give you the answer. Repeat it back to them. Okay? So what I'm hearing you say is, you really like when I come to work early and I have a great attitude and I bring you coffee. Is that what I hear you saying? All right? This way, there's no confusion. Everyone is clear with what's going on. Don't assume anything. What are the first letters in assume? A-S-S. All right. I remember when I was younger, because my family is very religious, spiritual, whatever you want to call it. There was no cursing. And I remember there was a part in the Bible, I'm sure, where they have ass. And we were like, it's not a curse word. It's in the Bible. It's funny how you think about things as a child, right? So that is my third one. Please, please, please don't assume anything at all. Don't assume that I'm going to say yes. Don't assume that I'm going to say no. I have a Bible verse for you. This is my favorite Bible verse. James 4:2. I wanted to double check that I didn't have it wrong. And it says, you have not because you ask not. All right. Last week, as you know, I was nervous. I wanted to raise the money to do the Lisa Nichols program. I did not have the money. I wanted to do it. So I was like, you know what? I heard it from Steve Harvey. You have not because you ask not. So I asked for sponsors. I asked for support, and the love and support that I got from all the people. Like I said, I'm doing a special video, but I'm like, stop assuming. Ask questions. And am I the only person who's sometimes afraid to ask questions? I'm always nervous. It's that throat chakra here, Go to my YouTube channel. Let's watch the chakra series that we did. But we're afraid. We're nervous. We don't want to let it out because we're afraid of the answer, right? Am I the only person where there may have been that guy and you thought, let me tell you, where was I? This was years ago. It was a Staples. Yes, it was a Staples. And it was a guy standing in line, and I was single at the time. And I was like, okay, Tina, I'm going to get the guts to go up and talk to him. You got to get ready like you're in a box ring. So I walk up to him And, I'm straight to the point. Nobody got time to waste. And I was like, hi, I just wanted to know if you were single. And he said, no, I'm married. Now, I always look at the ring finger first, right? And he says, no, I'm married. I'm like, so what? And I kind of attacked him. I'm like, so why don't you have a ring on? If you're married, you're supposed to wear a ring. Because I was embarrassed. I was just like upset, Don't ask me where that came from. But you have to go for what you want. You can't assume anything. I assumed this man was single because he didn't have a wedding ring on. So my expectations were like, okay, I'm going to have a date. Because of course he's going to want to go out with me, right? We have to end this live soon, guys, because I went to the gym and I drank a lot of water and I got to go. So I know too much information. This is the 7 a.m. Cup of Motivation. I'm here Monday through Friday, bringing you that motivation, that inspiration, that transformation. Tomorrow, I'm so excited about tomorrow. I have a special guest. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have special guests. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. Today, I am talking about expectations in life. On the bottom, you hear I have a 5-day challenge going on, and it's fun. I'm going to be doing it on YouTube and here as well, not on Instagram. But this 5-day challenge is something that I created from my book, No More Traumedy. I would be showing you that book right now. But yesterday, I had the honor of meeting some women, and I'm going to end with this story today. God has a plan, and we can't fight it. Sometimes I find in life, in the past, I used to really push for everything. I would fight. And yes, you want to push. Yes, you want to fight. But sometimes you got to flow like the ocean. You got to flow like the clouds. And I was going somewhere to do a certain thing. And while I was there, I was just like, I don't know about this place. It looks a little sketchy. And, I'm that person. I'm always going to be positive. I'm going to see the rainbow. I'm going to see the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I'm going to be like, yes, even though inside I'm like, I don't know. But God sends us certain places. So I'm standing in line, and this woman has a water bottle. This isn't a water bottle. Let's just pretend because I need some water. She has this beautiful water bottle, and there's pictures of a lady on it, all around it. And I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful water bottle. Who is that? I'm assuming it's her daughter. And she said, no, it's my niece. She was murdered in December. And there was another girl sitting next to her. And I was like, whoa, again, God puts me in these places, right? And I said, was it this recent December or was it a while ago? And I ask these questions because, as I said, God has blessed me with the gift of love when it comes to traumedies. And a traumedy is when the energies of a trauma and a tragedy collide. When this happens, everyone goes through a traumedy, life-changing experiences occur. So I'm talking to this woman right here, and she said it happened in December. And I said, well, how did it happen? And she said she got shot. We didn't go into like major details. And then she was expressing how, I don't look at the news. I know I'm going to put it on my phone. My daughter, someone told me, you should look at the news once a day. But she was saying, I guess there's some law where they're allowing 18-year-olds to have guns now. And then we got to talking about guns and that whole thing. And then the one girl that was sitting next to her, I could see she was getting teary-eyed. She's like, oh, I can't talk about this. And I was like, no. She's visiting us right now. Her niece, her cousin that had passed away, that was taken away. And then I was just sharing, how grateful, how lucky they were to have her. And I said, how old was she? And they said she was 22 years old. And I said, we have to reframe the way we see things in life, And I said, I know exactly how you feel because my son was murdered 8 years ago. And I turned it around to, oh, he only had 21 years. I was like, yes, I got to spend 21 glorious, wonderful years with him. It was amazing. There were some bad times, I must admit, but I'm getting off a tangent, but that's why sometimes I can't go on Facebook. Like I'll go on Facebook for business, but Facebook shows those memories. And then I go down a rabbit hole. And then, you have to know your triggers in life. Getting back to the story, I apologize, family and friends. She's talking about her niece, and I'm telling her how they were lucky to have her for 22 years, and the other girl got upset and she actually walked away. And I was still talking to the one person, and she said it was her sister, because it was her niece. And I said, well, how's your sister doing? I already knew, because if you're a mother, you've lost a child, you're probably not doing too good, especially in the first year. If anyone here has lost a loved one, especially a son, a daughter, a mother, I don't know about others, but when a son and a daughter, the first year is hard, it's challenging. But year 2 is even more challenging. I remember in the first year when someone told me this, and I was like, how in the world could could it get any worse than this? Because in year one, it's like you can barely breathe. If you guys have ever heard of broken heart syndrome, it's a real thing. It's a real medical condition, cardiomyopathy. It's caused by the loss of a loved one, the breakup in a relationship, or other emotional triggers. It can cause this. And in year one, when you lose a child, it's like you can barely breathe. You're very weak because you probably don't want to eat. You just want to sleep. You just want to stay in bed. Or maybe you want to eat everything in sight. So then you feel sick because you're eating all this gross food. So I already knew what the woman was feeling. Has anyone here ever felt just depressed, just angry, sad, like all of the negative emotions and you didn't want to move? Right. So I knew the mom was feeling this way. And I was like, okay, Tina, God has you here to uplift that mother. And I just happened to have one of my books with me. And my daughter said, do you carry your books with you all the time? And I said, no, but now that she said that, I'm going to carry my books with me all the time. And I wrote something in the book and I said, can you give your sister this book? Because I know that I can support her. In the book, No More Trauma, I share a little bit of my story. And at the end, I give over 20 things that you can do to push through the pain, to transform your mind, to transform your life, your mind, your body. Because it is hard, my friends. And even though it's been 8 years, my sunny boy is gone, each day I have to push myself. And the one thing for me is movement. I have to exercise. I have to move my body. I have to get it out. If you didn't know, the body holds the score. Oh my gosh, I'm at 31 minutes already. This is supposed to be a 30-minute show. Huh. Forgive me. You see, I just kind of get off. With that being said, I'm doing this 5-day challenge, which is dedicated, which is through my book, No More Traumedy, and it's focused on fitness, health, and wellness, because we hold these traumas in our body where we can't lose the weight, we can't get fit, and can't do those things. So make sure you sign in right there. We have free book, free ebooks, free things that help you get through, nutrition books, morning rituals, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't. And I'm getting out of here. I'm excited for tomorrow with our guest. I'm not going to tell you who she is. I will post something. And that's all I have for you today. Yes, just remember, my friends, one more thing. Remember one thing. You are amazing. Peace. And a bottle of hair grease. Bye. See you.